Yes, people, welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are all well. It's time for the Game Week 4 Premier League Roundup show. I am joined by Shaun again this week. Shaun, how are you?
I'm all right, mate. It's a bit early for a bank holiday Monday, really, but I'm
Half past
squeezing you in.
11? Half past 11, Shaun.
I
Crikey,
know.
what are you doing?
I should be in bed watching a 80s film or something at this time.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Hope you are all well watching. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out our channel sponsors, SRM Carver and Sun, by clicking the link in the description down below. You can vote for us in the Football Content Awards, Best Young Content Creator, by clicking the link as well. West Ham Unofficial in that category. Let's get into it then. And we start down on the south coast where Man United pick up another 3 points. So like the nil, Manchester United 1, Shaun.
Yeah, I think United, was back-to-back wins now, and after their little crisis, I did watch the game. What a great performance by United, but the goal sort of great finish, but it sort of come out of nowhere. They weren't like dominating or anything really. You went with the same team that obviously beat Liverpool. I felt for Southampton a bit because they got some not bad little players. They gave it a good go, but ultimately can't remember De Gea making too many saves. Might be wrong, but yeah, they're like United, a bit like a few sides in that game. Sort of not playing brilliant, but doing enough to get the job done. And obviously, then you hope that you build a bit of momentum from that. Yeah, I felt for Southampton a little bit because I thought they probably deserved the point, but yeah. At this stage, any win's a good win at this stage of the season, just to get up and run, I suppose.
Yeah. Of course, it's on Casemiro as well. How big of a boost do you think that is or not?
He's a very good midfielder, but if you come from Real Madrid, he's a good midfielder. He's not brilliant, but he's a good midfielder at Real Madrid who's been around like a lot of top class players. So it'd be interesting to see what he does. Like chucked in, I don't know. Is he going to play alongside McTominay? I don't know. So if you come from a top club and come to like a slightly lesser club with lesser players, you can get frustrated. I think they're buying this is Anthony from Ajax. I think that's 100 million all in.
100 million.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact figures, but I think United are giving Ajax something like 160 million this summer. And last season, all in all, Ajax Football Club's turnover was something like 140 million for the whole year. So let's see. In all fairness, that is it Lisandro Martinez, the centre half, the little one?
Yeah, he looked decent, didn't he?
Yeah, he's like a little terrier, isn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, Southampton haven't really got a striker, so it's a game like that sort of plays into his hands a little bit. But yeah, let's see what. Obviously, it's buying from the Dutch league don't always pay off, does it? So,
No.
And the amount of times United have bought a big, Casemiro, he's quite a big name, Casemiro, but the amount of times they've bought a name and they just haven't done it, United. So
yeah.
We'll see. I wouldn't get too excited if I was a United fan, put it that
way. Good morning to everybody. Mandy, hope you are well. Budgie, Trudge as well. Hope you are all well. Shaun is the only Spurs fan I don't mind. Will you take that as a compliment?
Well, yeah, she probably needs to get out more and meet some more fans there, probably.
Let's move up to the G-Tech Community Stadium, shall we? Brentford 1, Everton 1. Would this get your award for the most forgettable game of the week?
It's in the top 2.
Yeah, and I think I know the second one.
Yeah, this is, I suppose, a little bit like Everton's game the other week, because Everton were 1 down and conceded late and equalised late. I think this is a late goal as well, and I can't remember how the goals went. I'm sure there was a late equaliser. Brentford losing till late, were they?
Yeah, Gordon scored in the 23rd, and Janelt scored in the 84th minute to equalise.
Yeah, I don't think either sets of fans will come away from this that happy, will they? Like, I think both sets of fans would look at this thinking, right, this is the sort of game we've got to win. After United win Brentford, I don't think they've looked great, and I think the results haven't been very good, to be honest. Everton, where'd you go with Everton? I just think this season. I just think this season's going to go on like this to the end. To be honest, I think Anthony Gordon's probably staying now. I read that earlier. I just think they're going to huff and puff. I think obviously the Gerrard and Lampard are always going to get compared, no matter what they do.
Yeah.
Even if they're pundits on Match of the Day, they're going to get compared. They got it for life. I just think Everton has spent a lot of money, but I don't think a lot of it has been spent by Lampard. I might be wrong.
I don't see the vision. I don't see what they're trying to do.
Well,
yeah, stay up, obviously. But,
yeah, I think I haven't got the figures in front of me, obviously, but they spent a lot of money in the last 2 or 3 managers before Lampard, like Benitez, Ancelotti. I think they were all given a little bit to spend, and I think obviously with COVID hitting, I know the Premier League has come out of it laughing. Really, we're the only league in the world with a lot of money still. But I just think Lampard must have a little bit more in the bank than Gerrard. Do you know what I mean? Like, he hasn't spent silly money himself. They've lost 1 or 2. They've obviously lost Richarlison. That hasn't helped anything. Calvert-Lewin, I still don't think he's fit. I might be wrong. But yeah, I think they'll just huff and puff. And I think Brentford look like they're huffing and puffing a bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think, well, let's keep an eye on it. I think I'll stick with what you said at the start of the season. I do think Everton might go down. And I think Brentford probably might just limp over the line. I don't know, bottom 6. I think we said bottom 6, didn't we?
Yeah, something like that. Do you wear white socks, Shaun, or not?
I do. I got some nice white Adidas socks. I don't do not socks with sliders though.
Oh, controversial. Luke, hope you're well, mate. Budgie, hope you are well. James, good morning, all yawn stretch. I did well this morning. I was out of bed by 9:45. Not by my own doing, but I was still out of bed by 9:45. Yeah, what's going on? Come on, look lively, people. Come on, Shaun, wake up.
I'm trying, mate. I'm trying.
Have a coffee. How does Shaun feel about facing Paqueta, Scamacca, and Antonio? It's actually on Wednesday. I'm sure we'll discuss all this on the preview, but I think you're a fan of Paqueta, and he should start. Hopefully,
you think he'll start? Yeah,
I think he'll be in the squad. Starting's probably a little bit optimistic looking at it.
I think he'll probably start Antonio, but Scamacca on the bench is my gut feeling.
Yeah, he will. Oh, 100%.
I think Antonio's got he hasn't done too bad against Tottenham in the past, so
no.
I think that'll bring him in. I don't know. I think he's quite loyal, isn't he? So I'd be surprised if Paqueta starts as well. But again, he's got to fit him in. I'm sure we'll come on to West Ham in a minute, but he's chopped and changed the formation a little bit here and there, and he's trying to wriggle players in, and you can't play everyone. I know everyone's clambering for Ben Rama to be back in again now, and I'm sure some people might say Cornet's got to start. Do you know what I mean? You can't start them all.
We've got a few very good players who want and need to be starting every week, but we just haven't got the positions. But we'll go on to West Ham a little bit later on. Next up, Leicester are in big trouble. Chelsea 2, Leicester 1. Gallagher sent off, but the Blues still get all 3 points. What do you make of this, Shaun?
I just don't think Chelsea were very convincing. Put it that way. Yeah, I did actually read just before I come on that apparently Palace have bid. I think it's 27 million for Gallagher. So. Yeah. I thought Gallagher out of his depth against Leeds. Leeds energy the other week. Gallagher just wasn't in the game at all. Obviously sent off in this one. And I think the start of this season has probably seen his chance to prove himself to the manager. And I don't think it's gone great. Brosher didn't play. Did he come on? Did he start?
I don't know. Shall I have a look? Go on, keep talking.
Or did they have Sterling up front? Yeah, so they're 2 names that are obviously out on loan, and it was their chance. Well, I don't see them making it there, to be quite honest.
Sterling started, Brozier didn't.
Yeah, whether it's right or wrong, Chelsea like to get a young player in, probably don't give them a run of games, and the pressure's on straight away. So yeah, I think it would surprise me if both of those have gone either on loan or sold. That's 3 days left in the window.
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Leicester were like hammering them in like the last 10 minutes trying to get a goal, but yeah, Leicester aren't great, are they? And
no.
Yeah.
No. Well, they've just made 70 million quid out of Fofana if that gets done, but they probably wanted that done at the start of the transfer window because they haven't got much time to spend their 70 million because they probably need to spend it straight away.
That's the problem of holding out for like big money or almost being a bit greedy. Now you've got 3 days, and
people and clubs will know that you've got that money and you need players. So,
well, yeah, also
interesting.
Also, Premier League's the only league in the world that's got money as well. So you got to pay your English tax. Do you know what I mean? Look at Ajax, what they're doing to United. Do you know what I mean? And Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean, all these clubs are laughing at the English clubs, really splashing out what they have. You're about to spend. Was it 50 million? Is it 50 million or something like
52
that?
million, yeah.
Yeah. So these clubs from what you'd call the lesser leagues, they are rubbing their hands together at the moment. But in all fairness, they need that because, like I said, the Premier League's the only one with a lot of money. If you look at the money spent in the other leagues, it's not very high at all. I think about last week, I've seen in La Liga, if you take away the top two, I think the net spend's about 5 million
Wow.
between all the other 18 clubs. So the Premier League, we're loaded. It's as simple as that. But we should help the rest of Europe get the ball rolling. Do you know what I mean? In the next couple of windows,
Yeah, fair
like
enough.
like Spurs, there were about 7 or 8 we needed to get rid of in this window, and most of them seem to be going on loan. But I think we're happy to send them on loan because I think we're looking at it like put it this way, we've loaned Lo Celso to, I think he's gone back to Villarreal, but we've got a 6-month breaker clause in it in case someone comes in January. So that sort of sums up and proves how I think probably a few clubs are looking at the market loaning players out. Like get the ball rolling, get the money churning through Europe. Come January next summer, I think it's common sense. A lot of other leagues going to have a bit more money to play with.
Yeah, I agree. Luke says Leicester are doomed. Maybe not this season, but definitely next. Looks like Sterling will carry them a bit. Yeah, I was a little bit about that signing, but he seems to be doing very well. Seko Fofana has admitted West Ham have made an offer for him. Interesting. Maddie says Ten Hag from Ajax pays double the money for his ex-players. Lol, too funny. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Right then, let's move on. What have we got next? Brighton 1, Leeds 0. Shaun, I just haven't got anything to say.
Brighton were good again. I followed this game because, as you know, I got a Leeds mate and he likes to try and fill my head full of nonsense. So I like to prove him wrong before he gets a chance. Brighton were very good, apparently. Leeds completely outplayed more or less in the game. I followed, I don't think it's on the radio, but I just followed the game with the Brighton. You know, get these apps that write it up, and a bit like I did with West Ham yesterday, actually. Brighton very good. Same with Brighton. They play great football. Don't really take the chances. I still haven't got a striker. Leeds couldn't live with them, to be honest. Leeds didn't really get going until about the last 10 minutes, I think. What's their new winger called? Sinister or something like that. He missed a sitter from about 3 yards. But yeah, it was a typical Brighton performance. And I think they're doing well, aren't they? They beat your lot.
They keep getting Leeds points, don't they?
What are they, 4th or 5th in the league now?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I'll beat United as well.
Yeah.
I think on 10 points, same as us. So
good start for them. Good start for them.
I did actually. Stan Collymore, I think he's been in fantasy land a little bit. He's almost sort of trying to not push Gerrard out the door, but he still did sort of say that Graham Potter would be the right sort of man for that job. But I don't think Graham Potter would swap Brighton for Villa, to be honest.
No, I think Graham Potter's eyeing at one job and one job only. Ash says, what's happening with Paqueta seems to be going quite... Yeah, we believe it's all done. We're just waiting for all the media work to be done. And we should get an announcement either today or tomorrow. As long as he's registered by, I think it's 12 o'clock tomorrow, he can play against the Spuds. As I said, paperwork exchange, medical done. They're probably doing the media stuff. Exactly. Is Ashby going to Villa for 2.5 million? I highly doubt it. I really, really highly doubt it. The deadline is Tuesday midday. It certainly is. Graham Potter is a magic. Is as magic as his brother Harry to get a game at a Welbeck. That's good, Luke. Good stuff. Moving on. I mean, just don't really want to talk about this too much because it's a bit embarrassing, isn't it? Liverpool 9. Yes, 9. Bournemouth 0. You know what? I watched a vlog from a Bournemouth fan on their YouTube channel yesterday, and I just felt. It's just embarrassing, isn't it? Really, on the highest of levels. And he said it's just been completely embarrassed. They've gone into the Southampton club of losing 9-0, and I do feel for them a bit because they haven't had the best of starts, and they should be refunded their tickets from Saturday. If I'm honest with you, they probably won't because it's the Premier League. But it's just not great for the Premier League, is it, Shaun?
First of all, I haven't seen any of the goal. It's one of those games, but because it's so one-sided, you can almost forget the game, which sounds daft because it's the game of all the goals. Dream Team fans were in the mud a little bit because Salah didn't even get an assist or
Yeah.
a goal or anything, which made me laugh. Yeah, Bournemouth. I think they're in the boat. Not as bad, they're probably worse than Norwich, but when you go up and down a little bit as a fan, you must think once the novelty of going to Anfield, going to Old Trafford has wore off a little bit.
Yeah.
Would you not just rather be in the Championship than come up and get walloped like that? Like, I
Mm.
don't know, Joe. You go to a few away games. If you were getting beat 9-0, and I don't know, they got next, say they got, I don't know, say they got Arsenal next, would you really fancy going?
It's 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 disheartening for sure because they had a great start. They beat Villa and everything, but they just beat that they are going to get battered
What
quite
I
a
will
few
say about
weeks.
them, I think after winning their first game, their run of fixtures was quite dreadful. They've already
Yeah.
lost to Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, and they beat Villa. So that's 4 games. That.
Yeah, they've got
So,
Wolves, Forest, Brighton, Newcastle, Brentford, Leicester, Fulham. So they haven't got any real big sides up until they play you boys at the end of October.
but the problem is now, whoever beats you, I think did City beat them 4-0? Was it Liverpool, Arsenal
4-0.
3?
Yeah.
They're all hiding, so that's going to dent your confidence. They're not going to go in this like easier run of games feeling very confident. That's the problem. They haven't shown any
No.
fight at all. But you wouldn't want to go to Liverpool and lose. what would they took? They might have took a 2-0. They probably might have been happy with 2-0 defeat.
Yeah.
And they might have been able to take something from that. But 9-0, like, I don't know. That somehow it's got, well, a lot of their fans are already calling for Parker to go. But where'd you go with it? Like, they probably haven't got many Premier League class players in the team. I don't know. I don't know. They're just gonna have to ride it out. They're probably. I think everyone's tipped for finishing bottom. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, it's hard for fans like them. Like they go up, down. Norwich, they're probably still favourites to win the league again this year in the Championship.
It's
They'll come up.
incredibly difficult. It's incredibly difficult, and it
But
must be so disheartening for them fans that
like I
they
said,
go up and
once a
down. Yeah.
novelty of seeing these big stadiums in the Premier League, the novelty of I don't know Harry Kane coming to the Carrow Road. Once the novelty of that's more off.
That's not a novelty, Shaun.
But do you know what I mean? You must just think eventually you'd prefer a day out, Saturday afternoon day out, go and watch a game where you might win, two even teams. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah, I
sometimes
think that's fair.
when you're in your comfort zone, it can be more enjoyable. But
yeah, Luke says
it's hard.
Championship is better for the fans, full stop, but the Premier League is where you want to be. Bournemouth have been on a downward spiral since Eddie Howe left, and Scott Parker seemed to get them up a bit last year. You know, obviously they did get he did get them up, but it's just been a very very flat start to the season. Did Shaun just get out of bed?
Not far off, yeah. About squeeze myself out of bed, yeah.
Well, you've probably just got out of bed, got to make yourself a cup of coffee, and then got back in bed. Anyway, let's move on. And let's go up to the Etihad. Manchester United 4, Manchester City, sorry, Manchester City 4, Crystal Palace 2. It looked like at one stage Crystal Palace yet again had Man City's number, but Erling Haaland came through with his first, probably not his last hat trick for Manchester City, Shaun.
Yeah, I don't think people don't get very excited nowadays when City go behind, do they? Because you're almost half expecting they're like the comeback kings, aren't they? You can be, well, you're like you 2-0 up on them last season, 2-2. But they losing 2-0 in the Championship deciding game end of the season as well.
Mm.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they were, I think. Yeah,
you just expect it now, don't you?
Yeah.
Palace, they got a habit of doing this as well. I think last year they lost a lot of points conceding late games. They were like winning and drawing. I know it's Man City, but if you're 2-0 up, you want to hang on. I did see a little clip of I didn't see a close up, but the City keeper rolled the ball out, went to kick it, and it didn't look like the Palace. I don't know what player it was. Didn't look like he actually impeded him, but the ref and it went in the back of the net, so that had been 3-0.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
I don't know. It looked. Some players are protected a little bit now, aren't they? Especially keepers, but yeah, like you said, Haaland. He doesn't have to do a lot in the game. He's just one of those ruthless finishers. I think he only had like 10 touches of the ball in the first half. He's going to go on that all season. He's not going to be involved in the play a lot. He probably won't get a lot of assists. Just when the ball drops to him, he's just got a thunderbolt. He knows how to finish. I'm hoping
It
he's
is
don't
what
win
it
the
is.
Golden Boot because I got a bet on someone else. But
Well, Harry Kane's not going to win the Golden Boot, Shaun, so just forget it.
well, I got a little bet on a double for Harry Kane and Mane in the German league, so
Oh, right, I
little
see.
double. So I'll keep an eye on that.
I
But
see.
yeah,
Yeah,
City
it
of
was
City
RU, I think. I was thinking it was RU, yeah.
was it? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it's one of those where they expect them to get disallowed now, but it's just a bit pathetic.
Yeah,
But
Haaland is hilariously brilliant. He is, and that certainly won't be his last hat trick for Man City. But yeah, they rolled on to another 3 points. Let's go to North London then. Arsenal 2, Fulham 1. Would you say a small but sharp reality check for them, Shaun?
reality check for who?
Well, I was going to say Arsenal, but
The game was sort of. Did we do a score prediction for this last week? We did mention this game.
yeah,
It sort of went how I expected it to. I think Fulham are a good side.
yeah.
I think they're tough. I think Arsenal were probably quite lucky. I think both the goals had a bit of fortune to them.
Yeah.
This is the toughest team Arsenal have played so far, and obviously they were the team come up from the Championship. Arsenal have had an easy start. Arsenal fans are definitely getting carried away. That's definite.
All their ultras with their blooming black t-shirts.
I don't know where that's come from. It's ridiculous. I did read a few fans saying within the next 3 years they think they'll be invincibles again. they're going in that hard. Yeah, I don't. Arsenal haven't done too much for me other than what I've seen last season. To be quite honest with you, I think they got a little. I think they got a run coming up starting. I think about they've got 2 or 3 more games that look winnable, but then they got a tough run. Chuck in the Europa League as well. We'll see where they are. They haven't excited me that much. Do you know what I mean?
So obviously the Europa League starts on the 8th of September. They got Villa, which they should batter if they played like they did against us. They've got them on Wednesday. Then they've got Man United, and then they go Europa League, Everton, Europa League, Brentford, and then you boys more Europa League, Liverpool, more Europa League. So
yeah,
it's going to be a
see.
bit difficult for them.
I think we said the other day we'll see where these teams are after about 10, 12 games.
Yeah.
To be honest, we shouldn't even be looking at the league table yet. It's a bit daft, but
I don't look at it yet unless we're talking.
I bet you don't. Their fans, they're a bit unrealistic. Let's be honest, but it makes
they are one of the worst fan bases out there.
They're a strange fan base because this ultras thing. I think it's just like more comedy. Like it looks like everything Arsenal fans do. I find a little bit fake, almost like they're putting on like an act. Because they're not like a hardcore fan base. Do you know what I mean? They've never been one of like they haven't got an ultras. Do you know what I mean? That's just all pretend. It's like
they were all jumping up and down like they're having a party, weren't they?
Yeah,
and
I think
they was going around doing a lap of one like they won the league.
I think they film themselves more than any fan base in games. Obviously, Arsenal Fan TV was probably the biggest or first pages of a like that cropped up and just. It goes on and on. That now they've got this Amazon documentary, which just I know a lot of clubs have done it. We've done it, but it just sums the club up. It just feels like a bit of a Ted Lasso sort of setup. Do you know what I mean? It just almost feels like a bit of a. It's not a real club at times. It just how they prance about, the nonsense you read online. I don't know. It's a strange lot.
As well with the game, they were putting a back foot, and you've said it all season that Fulham won't go down.
They won't go down.
The Bournemouth won't, and Arsenal lost Zinchenko and they lost Partey, and they looked like they crumbled at times.
They look as soon as they lost them, it looked like Arsenal of last season straight away.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
and I've said before, I think they've even with them in the team, still think they can be got at. I think the saying is, Fulham. I think said at the start of the season they'll stay up. I said Mitrovic will score and be a handful. And with an attacking manager, he would do it in the Premier League. He's proved it before. He can do it in the Premier League when he's under a manager that goes for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll stay up. Might still be around the bottom 6, but they'll stay up. I've got no doubt about that at all.
Yeah. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Usual suspect. Morning. Hope you're well, mate. Looked at the league table for the first time this season. Yeah, I just don't really take any attention to it to about at least 12 games. There's no point, is there? Luke says need a strong Arsenal as they live rent free in Spurs fans' heads anyway. Great fun to watch. Now I despise both of them. absolutely despise both of them, especially Arsenal the last few years.
Jake,
They've just been.
I'll reply to that. Spurs fans just laugh at Arsenal fans. They're not. They don't. They're not. They don't get rattled by them by a long stretch. It's more of just a bit of a banter. Just look after any game, every game. It's just funny. That's all Tottenham fans do. It's
Arsenal fans are becoming more irritating hyper merchants. Yeah, if we beat the Spuds, which we won't on Wednesday, which really hates me to say, we might do. You never know. If we play like we did in the second half, we might have a chance. But if we beat them, we could be up to 7th. We could be.
What's funny with go back to the Arsenal fans? They are very obsessed with Tottenham. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they are
obsessed to the point where. Obviously, they've been like it years, but you remember the game when we hammered them in the North London derby? They're still crying about the decisions in that game now. So if Tottenham get a decision they think's iffy or a bit of luck, they're convinced that we're buying the referees. It's still dragging on, and we obviously Tottenham just laughed. They just laugh. We just laugh at them back. I don't know. I can't say any more now. It's just they're a bit obsessed, to put it that way.
Oh, that's the main fun then. So let's go to Villa Park then. And finally, for the first time this season, I can smile. Aston Villa 0, West Ham United 1. A game of two halves, very much so. We were very, very poor in the first half, like we have been throughout the whole of the season. Moyes set up quite clearly in the first half to keep it how it was at a 0-0 and then go in the second half. And that's exactly what he did. I think David Moyes will look back at it as almost a perfect away performance, contained them, kept the crowd quiet in the first half, brought on Ben Rama at half time, scored a goal, won the game. They didn't look particularly threatening throughout it. And that's all we needed. The performance didn't matter particularly yesterday. It was just about points. We needed points yesterday, and that's exactly what we got. I thought Kehrer was excellent after his pretty ropey Premier League start, and alongside him Zuma as well. I thought those two complemented each other excellently. Who else was good? I thought Rice in the second half was very good. Souček was a lot better than he has been, which is good to see. I saw some stats as well last night, which backs that up. For now, so if you don't shoot, you don't score. We don't shoot enough. We try and score the perfect goal. Every now and then have a shot from outside of the box. We don't mind that. People were urging us to shoot. We shoot yesterday and we score. That's it, and it gets us 3 points. So hopefully we can learn from that. I thought Schumacher was a bit unlucky. He didn't really have too much service, so he couldn't really do much. Antonio came on. I'm telling you, Antonio is a super sub. Is a weapon. It's a really, really big weapon that clubs will not like to defend against. So 20 half an hour of Antonio running at you is not what any centre-back wants in the Premier League. Bowen disappointed me again yesterday. Obviously, that big chance he had, he ran through where he pretty much nearly had a one-on-one with the goalkeeper. If that's last year, he scores it. He's low on confidence. We need to get that confidence back. Maybe I think he could be rested/dropped for Wednesday night. Perhaps bring Cornet in and do a bit of switch around on Wednesday because we're going to have to rotate. I'll be surprised if Schumacher starts on Wednesday, started Thursday and on Sunday. So it'll probably be Antonio up front. But overall, very, very happy and relieved that we got the 3 points. And roll on to you lot on Thursday, on Wednesday, Shaun.
Yeah, I think I tweeted you at half times that the game sounded like a shocker at the first half. I think your game's probably a little bit like the Brentford Everton game by the sound of it. Very cagey. Like I said, I did follow the game. I did manage to watch the highlights this morning actually as well. It just sounded like both, especially first half, both managers were a little bit scared to lose almost. Very cagey, bit nervous.
But do you think that David Moyes, and would you class that needing 3 points, that was the perfect away performance that Moyes would have wanted?
It's a brilliant win because you obviously needed a win. Whichever team won the game, you class it as a much needed win. So Moyes would definitely be happy. I don't think that it probably wouldn't have scored without a deflection, which doesn't really matter. I know it did go in, so that's all that counts. So I think I messaged your dad actually. I think it's a brilliant win, but I'd probably still be coming away from the game with slight mixed emotions a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because the first half was very, very bad. But David Moyes did what he wanted to do: shut the crowd up, contain them, and then deploy the boys as it was.
But did you see a goal coming? To be honest, did you?
In the
I know you're.
second half, I did. In the first half, I didn't think we were going to score in about 50 hours. But when Berama came on in the second half, I could see us scoring.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Moyes, especially with these new boys he's got, and another one coming probably today, just got to fit them all in, work out his system. I think he's played a back three and a back four already this season.
Yeah. He experimented with the back five, and as you call him, Grandad Moyes actually changed it at halftime, which we were all surprised about. I think that's the first time in a long time he's made a substitution that hasn't been forced at halftime.
Oh yeah, I think it's probably because Villa set up very very differently to you, didn't they? Obviously they got the two
Yeah.
up front. So yeah, I expect he just seen that he had an extra defender being wasted more or less. Do you know what I mean? Because Villa weren't exactly a massive threat either. I think Buendia, he was on the bench as well, wasn't he? Do you know what I mean?
He came on at some point. I didn't really
Yeah,
notice him too much.
Villa fans at the moment rate him as their best player. So
He wasn't nothing special. None of them were.
no, but
I'll tell you what. One thing about Villa, if they play like that for the rest of the season, they're in deep trouble.
well, Villa have got Arsenal and Man City next two. So
and they won't get anything from that.
Well, they got. I think Gerrard's got to a little bit. I think I did catch the tail end of Graham Souness on Talksport earlier. I don't know in what time span, but they spent 400 million Villa. Do you know what I mean?
I was speaking to a couple of Villa fans in the services on the way back, and they just say we're saying the same as pretty much every away fan and other fans looking in, that we've bought all these players and none of them are gelling, and Gerrard ain't got a clue.
Yeah, it's this captaincy's caused a bit of a stir there as well.
Yeah.
Because,
not starting Mings yesterday, that's a stir as well.
Yeah, I don't know if Mings was injured actually, because they didn't have I want to say they didn't even have a centre back on the bench. I think obviously
right.
Mings was injured.
Illness it was apparently.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
But obviously I was a fan of McGinn last season, but all of a sudden,
yeah, so was I.
Villa fans think he's rubbish.
Yeah,
so I don't know if
captain.
I don't know if it's the captaincy, but because when the teams were announced yesterday, I quite often go on like the club's Twitter and just read what they're saying, because then you get a gauge of obviously what their fans are really thinking. And they were saying the worst players starting McGinn and the best players on the bench in Buendia. So and that was cropping up quite a bit, like because he's captain now, he's undroppable. But so I don't know what's gone wrong there. Coutinho, I'm sure he come with a reputation. They loaned him; he was class. As soon as they buy him, rubbish.
Flip flops, they're out on the beach.
And I think most of us sort of expected that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because don't forget when he went to Barcelona, then he went on loan to Bayern, and then he was literally linked to nearly every single club in Europe. No one was really taking him. Obviously, he's mates with Gerrard, and now people, their fans are saying that obviously he's made McGinn captain, so he must like him as a person. And Coutinho's his mate from the Liverpool days, so they're saying Gerrard's got his undroppables. So yeah, I think Gerrard's under more pressure than what some may think. I don't think that they'll hang around really.
Oh no, they won't. No, if we sat here in 2 weeks' time and they didn't get anything, or a week's time, and they haven't got anything from Villa and City, I think he's gone. Usual Suspect says Villa channels in meltdown about Gerrard. Majority seem to want Pochettino. Well, that seems to be the easy name for people to pluck out the air at the moment for anybody really, isn't it? Oh, just Pochettino. Let's wheel him in. But after seeing him manage Tottenham for a few years, do you think that he could go in and do a job at Villa or not, Shaun?
Yeah, Tottenham fans still love Pochettino.
It's
a tricky one. I don't really know what club will suit him. He's like a lot of coaches. He will bring his whole team with him. So if Gerrard goes, everyone will go. The whole backroom will just clear out. I don't know. I don't really know what sort of job he'd be looking for. I don't think he'd take the Villa job as my hunch there. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him crop up in the Spanish league at some point in the next 6 months.
Yeah, I agree. Luke says, thought our new left back looked poor. Hopefully back to fitness. Emerson only went backwards. Yeah, a few fans said he played well, and there seems to be a majority that thought he was poor yesterday. I didn't think he was great, to be honest. And the one thing that stood out to me is that I wanted us to sign a young, pacey left back, and we've got a aging, paceless left back, which is.
When did he last play a game though, Jake?
Oh, I haven't got a clue.
Because I can't. He's a player I know of, but I can't even remember. You got him from Chelsea. What when did you get him from Chelsea?
Yeah, he went out on loan at Lyon last year, and he played
Yeah,
quite a lot there. So probably
yeah.
towards the back end of the season for Lyon was his
The thing
last
is,
proper game.
I don't know what other clubs are doing, but quite often when clubs know they're getting rid of a player, they don't really incorporate him in much of the pre-season. So I don't know if Chelsea do that. But if that's the case, look, it went completely against what Moyes does, chucking him in, didn't it? But
Yeah.
so yeah,
He was playing wing back, and like he just didn't have any urge or pace to go forward, and it was just all very safe passes, and it didn't seem like he was really getting anywhere. Hopefully, he can improve because we need it. Quite
will you go
frankly,
wing backs on Wednesday? Do you think?
I think we will. Yeah, against you lot, I think we will. I think we'll start Kara Zuma and either Ogbonna or Creswell. I purely to the fact of that Moyes will know how dangerous you can be, and I think you could rip us apart in a back four. So I think he might go on his defensive mode. I'd be surprised both ways. I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle. I wouldn't be surprised if he went for a back five, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he went for a back four, if that makes sense. Because
it depends. Obviously, you're at home, so
yeah,
naturally, home fans want to see a bit of positivity there. But I don't know. It's a tricky one.
yeah.
I think you went to the Tottenham Stadium last year where you played a back five.
That was exactly what I was about to say.
And
yeah.
I think we could have. I think was it 2-0 in the end.
2-0 after about 25 minutes.
I think it could have been a couple more. So he might have that in the back of his mind. If you try and match up Conte with the wing backs, like yesterday Forest match, they play a back 3-5 anyway, but yeah, they got undone. So,
but I think we might play a back three purely because of the fact of that Johnson's now a doubt, as well as Creswell. Moyes has confirmed, so we might have to push Fornals back to left wing back, which isn't ideal. Put Corner out on the left hand side, kind of left wing, and then it's going to have to probably be Soufal as the right wing back and have Ogbonna as the third centre back in there, because playing a back four, we're without Creswell, we're without Johnson, which means we're going to have to play Soufal and we're going to have to play Emerson again, who played 45 minutes, who doesn't look very fit, against whoever's coming down that right wing for Tottenham, Kulusevski, Son, whoever it is. So we'll talk about it on the preview though, because that will be interesting. The Spurs game is probably just what we need right now. It should raise key players' levels, which have dropped so far this season, like Bowen. I agree. Yeah, the restricted view wasn't ideal at Villa Park. That was quite...
Jake, with Bowen, I read a few places he's not in great form.
No, he's not.
Maybe this is a snobbery sort of attitude by myself, but what I possibly put that down to, don't forget he comes from the Championship, so he's earned his role in the Premier League. But I think when a player comes from the Championship and has a brilliant season, they're almost playing on adrenaline a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I think he's quite an adrenaline sort of player. Like, he's very sort of, I rate him, but he's not like, he's like quite a high octane player, I'd call. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you're only 4 games in, and I'm sure you'll make a full analysis of him on Wednesday night. But I don't want to speak really too soon on him. But it doesn't look great, and I'd be surprised if he starts on Wednesday.
Yeah, the point I was going to make, like, because you've come from the Championship, I think if your confidence is low, you don't have as much high level and natural ability to fall back on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
but he did prove last year that he has that ability, and you might say it was adrenaline, but he played very well last year. You know, he scored however many goals, however many assists.
Like he earned his England call up, but I thought for England, he had the energy, running, dangerous. But when you got the natural, like I'm going to say more elegant players, it's probably a bit snobby thing to say again. But yeah, I just wonder when you come from the Championship, whether when your confidence goes, whether it affects you a little bit more. Now you're in the big league. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, perhaps. Let's fire through these comments and move on. The first half was so bad. Royce worst fit 45 minutes I've seen him play. Let's scroll down. I rate Kamara even if he's got high wages. There's a good comment from Luke. Villa and Everton will only survive if 3 teams are worse than them. I agree. It's all gone downhill for Villa since Grealish was sold. It's a shame. Josh isn't here to talk about this. I don't know if he's still in IB, or he's probably in hiding from me, to be honest. Let's have a look here. Troy says, I see a lot of us want Bowen dropped for Cornet. I think Cornet will start on Wednesday, and I'd be surprised if Bowen starts again after playing Thursday and Sunday, and then expect to play on Wednesday.
But Jake, Tottenham have got a very similar player to Bowen with the confidence thing at the moment. So I think the word dropped is probably a harsh and wrong word for both of them. I think, and it's also what's tough as well for managers is timing the rested, the rotation, because if all of a sudden you know your confidence is low and you're not quite clicking, and then you took out the team, that can make it worse. So that's something managers got the way up.
Yeah. Fremmer says Moyes searched for the right solution against Villa. We can't be searching against Spurs. They'll tear us a new one. Yeah, they certainly will. And if we start off slow like we did yesterday, maybe it was all in a plan. But if it wasn't, and that was just really, really bad, like most of us expected, not expected or thought it was, I suppose. But we just can't afford to do that. We really, really can't. Alex says, I wonder if Paqueta has had a change of heart after watching that turgid Drosh yesterday. Well, we got the 3 points and that's all that's needed. No, there's no turning back now. Fingers crossed, Alex. Hopefully that's all done. Hopefully they didn't turn the plane round.
Do you think?
Oh, put some money in the router, Shaun. But anyway, before we move on, please check out our channel sponsors here on West Ham, an official SRM Carver and Son. We'll see you hopefully back with Shaun. Oh no, he's back. Here he is. Put some money in the meter.
I think it's everyone nicking the Wi-Fi in my house again. That's what it is.
Everyone's nicking your Wi-Fi.
I was going to say, obviously, Paqueta, I'm assuming it's signed, and I don't know if he's start or not, but obviously he's more of like a centre midfielder sort of type. I think that's where he's probably going to play, but more like a sort of a left-sided. Do you think Moyes will probably pack the midfield with 3 centre midfielders on Wednesday, or?
I'd hope so. I would like to think that, because we could again get overrun in midfield. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't know what Moyes is going to do, but hey ho. Right, let's move on and let's go to this game. Right, let's fire through this game and then get the Spurs, and then Shaun can go back to bed.
I'm going for a Toby Carvery. That's the food chat today. So Toby Carvery today.
Lovely. So Toby Carvery, what are you having? Beef, pork, chicken, or a bit of everything?
Probably a bit of everything, I reckon. Lots of roast potatoes. That's the way forward there.
Yeah, Yorkshire pudding all the way.
Well, yeah, I don't get the extra large one because controversially, I don't like pigs in blankets. That's the controversy.
Ooh. Do you like stuffing?
Oh yeah, get all that on there, mate.
Anyway, there we go. That's a food chat. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. Wolves 1, Newcastle 1. Just talk about it. It's just forgettable, isn't it, Shaun? You know?
Yeah. Obviously, this was on Bank Holiday Sunday. I was sat in front of the telly. A few Morettis following your game, watching this game. It was just a Wolves game, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? It was just Wolves. They played some good football. Their goal was brilliant. Trying to think what happened. There was that was it. It was the penalty. I thought Newcastle should have had a penalty. That was it. Another controversial decision. Did you see the shirt pull or not?
I haven't seen it. No.
No. It's going to be a season where I don't know if you probably heard yourself in commentary where they say, "Oh, last season they'd have given that. Referee's been told to let more go." I think it's going to take a lot of learning what they're letting go and what's a foul, what's a red, what's a yellow. But yeah, he sort of if that's not a penalty, I'm just he had a shirt. You can see the shirt was actually pulled, like it wasn't like a discreet one, and it was inside the box. Didn't give it. I don't know. St. Maximin obviously got the equaliser. There's 2 good finishes actually, both the goals. But I quite enjoyed watching Newcastle knock it around. They were missing. Is it Bruno? They got Bruno Gomes. He was missing. Callum Wilson injured again. Today, was it Chris Wood up front? He's just a typical 80s throwback centre forward, isn't he? But they've just spent 60 million, is it, on Isaac?
Yeah.
So I think they're up to about 200 odd million now since the new owners have come in. But it's just Wolves. They put in the same performance every single week. They still can't score goals. They still don't create enough clear-cut chances. it's just same old with Wolves, isn't it? It must be a bit boring being a fan of theirs because they are just the same week in, week out. You know what you're getting. And that's that. But yeah, it was quite a forgettable game. Like, it's not one you'll remember in a couple of weeks, put it that way.
You sound so excited about it, Shaun.
Yeah, I was just waiting for it to end, waiting for our game to come on, to be honest.
Yeah, let's get on to that then. Nottingham Forest 0, Spurs 2. I think you scored early on. There was a bit of drama with Kane, I heard, and everything else. And then blimmin' Richarlison got his backside kicked by Brennan Johnson. Well done, mate. Well done, mate. Hopefully everybody else will do that this season because he's a muppet. But anyway, Shaun, go.
Strange game, if I'm not being honest, mate. Quite a strange game. And obviously we got you coming up. A bit like you with Moyes. I don't know what... Well, put it this way, I thought we were going to rotate it yesterday. He's picked... I think I'm right in saying he's picked the same... Near enough the same team for every game so far. I think Sessignon starting one. I expect him to rotate today. Obviously, he always said in the transfer window he wanted 2 players to play every position with no drop off. Well, he hasn't changed anyone yet. It was a strange game. Obviously, you went the City ground, didn't you, the other week? So you know the atmosphere is quite electric there. It's a bit of a little bit like going to Leeds, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
similar sort of thing. And it was weird because a few Tottenham fans aren't that happy because we sat back and let them have the ball. Now that's great against, I don't know, a Man City, a Liverpool, and try and counter. But we did that against Nottingham Forest, and I don't know if I'm not a fan of possession style. It means absolutely nothing to me in football, to be honest. But I don't know. I think we didn't keep the ball great. We sat back, soaked them up. In all fairness, it worked because I think they didn't create a clear-cut chance in 90 minutes. I think they had one shot on target, and that was from about 25 yards. I think Lloris has made 8 saves all season so far, only eight saves, and I think about half of them have been from outside the box. So we're very, very organised. Everyone knows their jobs. I think I was surprised we went for the counter-attacking approach as much as we did yesterday. It did work. I think 4-0 probably been, based on the chances we had, probably been a more fair result. Obviously, Kane missed a penalty. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
Well, he had it saved, obviously. Never missed. I think he's never missed a target with a penalty. So, yeah, good save by Henderson. It was
Dean Henderson saved two England players' penalties.
Dog's off again. Yeah, it was just a strange game. Like, we played okay. Didn't really keep the ball. Obviously, when we counter-attack, we looked quite lethal still. I was saying about a player alone confidence, that would be Son. It's not happening for it at the moment. I think in the first half, the stat come on the telly, he had the lowest amount of touches on the pitch out of every player. He was very unlucky with one shot. He hit it like a rifle, and it just curled over the bar. Yeah, he's struggling a little bit, but he's got one of those faces that you can tell it's hurting him. Do you know what I mean? So you want to cuddle him. But Richarlison.
One thing I do want to mention on Richarlison, have you seen Conte's post-match statement on Richarlison?
Oh yeah, what did he say?
In his keepy uppies, this will surprise you. He said, "I wouldn't want my players to do that. If that's accepted at Spurs, it's nothing to do with me."
Oh, I don't really know. I don't really know what that means, to be honest. Sounds a bit cryptic, typical Conte. You won't be surprised. Tottenham fans absolutely love Richarlison. They absolutely love him. But I knew they would because Everton fans loved him. Everton fans were devastated when he left. In all fairness to him, forget all like the bits you might dislike about him or that. He's come off the bench 4 times now and he's improved us every time. He just brings that little bit of extra energy. He does the unknown a little bit. I don't think he's ever been known for scoring a lot. I've noticed that with his finishing. It's not on the level of like an informed Son or Kane, but he's great to have on the pitch. And I'll be honest, I'm a bit surprised at the little bit of uproar about the keepy up. I don't really see the big deal myself. It doesn't matter. I don't really get the hoo-ha about it. I don't know. I've sort of gone over my head a little bit. Like Jamie Carragher had a little, there's no place down. Why isn't there a place out on the pitch? Do you know what I mean? it's just having a touch of the football. Why is it a big issue? But yeah, he's brilliant assist by Richarlison. It's a great assist. Bent with the out, very special assist. So yeah, a bit like Bowen. A lot of fans are calling for Son to be rested for Richarlison. But it's a tricky one because you don't want to damage Son even more. And it's working bringing Richarlison off the bench. When you've got a super sub where it's working, I personally probably wouldn't change that. If he's been given about 20 minutes in every game, we've improved every time he's come on. So I'd probably still stick with Son on the same front three. Kulusevski's fast becoming easily one of our best players. But yeah, I'll be honest, I did expect a bit more rotation by now.
Yeah.
We haven't seen a lot of Basuma, which has surprised me. But then again, the two in the middle got the shirt, and that's the age-old saying: if you've got the shirt.
But you might think that you might see some of that on Wednesday night, especially Sunday, Wednesday, and you've got blooming a game every 2.5, 3 days coming up.
Well, yeah, we're going to see it at some point. But I expected to see it yesterday. To be honest, I thought Sessegnon might start and he arrested Perisic. I thought Basuma might have come in for one of the mids. I did even think Matt Doherty might start at right wing back, but he hasn't even got on yet this season. So the squad's strong. I'd probably say you still go with the same 11 versus your lot. I don't see it as a game where he will rotate. I thought yesterday he might have. But I don't see your game as the one he'll do it. Not really. We got Fulham the following. I think we've got what date are we on?
29th.
I want to say we got Fulham on Saturday, and then we got Champions League on probably the Tuesday or the Wednesday.
Yeah, and it'll start then, doesn't it? So that'll be interesting.
But yeah, bear in mind Conte's got an atrocious record in the Champions League, so I would not be shocked at all if
you get knocked out in the group stage. Nobody else will.
Well, no, Tottenham are favourites to win the group, but
who have you got in your group? Frankfurt, I know.
Frankfurt, Marseille, and Sporting Lisbon.
Oh, so you haven't really got any big boys then, have you?
I think all four teams would be quite happy with the group. Do you know what I mean? I think all four teams will look at it. I think they got. In most of the groups, you look at it and think, right, they're going to win the group. We're fighting for second. But I don't think in our group it's like that. But I do wonder with Conte whether I'm not saying play a week inside in the Champions League. That sounds daft. But he might use the Champions League to rotate a few in there. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe.
He might do that. But yeah, I know we're going to chat about Wednesday's game tomorrow. It's a weird one. It'll be a tactical battle.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. Just to mention Nottingham Forest, they're closing on their 19th summer signing of Willy Boly from Wolves. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, interesting.
That'll be a 19th signing. But I think I'm right in saying they still don't have an out-and-out centre forward.
Oh, what have they been signing?
I know they sort of played a front three with Lingard as like the false number 9 again. I think they've done that a few games this season, but I don't know. If we play back, like I said, they didn't really create anything. Nothing. They put a couple wide. I think they had a header wide, shot wide. Laurie's palm went out from about 25 yards. Other than that, they just sort of They reminded me of a little bit of watching Leeds last year at times, where they'd have a lot of the ball, lump it in the box with no precision crossing or anything like that. Yeah, I just felt like they could be there all day and not score, and obviously.
So there we go. That's the Premier League roundup show for game week 4 done. One thing that's a positive about playing on a Wednesday against Spurs is if we do lose, we won't be doing a roundup show, so we can just cover it up. But if we do win, don't you doubt that we'll be back with some sort. But,
Well, it's your cup final. You've got to come on and gloat.
Here we go. I'm just fed up of it. Listen, all you lot last year when you beat us 2-0, you were all having your street parties. West Ham get battered everywhere they go. Cup final this, cup final that. That wasn't even our biggest game of the week. We played Seville the next Thursday in the Europa League quarterfinal.
Oh, was that little trophy that you had a little cup running?
Oh, listen. You were knocked out of the even smaller one that a big club are now in.
We didn't get knocked out. I told you just before. We pulled ourselves out of it. That's what happened.
Oh, of course.
And that's exactly what you should be doing as well.
just keep going, keep
I
going.
can't even remember who you drew in that. Anyway, was there any real
Yeah,
teams?
we've got Anderlecht, Bucharest, and Skillball, which is a team in Denmark.
Oh, big team.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. 2x players on the preview tomorrow night, and that guy. So make sure you are here live on the preview. I don't know what time it is yet, but I'm sure we will get that sorted. Sean probably knows because I don't.
About 7:30, I want to say, Jake.
Is it? Well, there we go. Check us out.
Mate.
Check us out then. Thanks for watching. You can catch us tomorrow. There's going to be plenty of transfer little videos coming out. The first one is going to be in 35 minutes, talking about a potential move to Aston Villa for Craig Dawson. So you can watch that at 1 o'clock. And just don't smile, Sean, because I know what your thoughts are on him. But there we go. Thanks everybody for watching. Come on, your irons, and we'll catch you soon right here on West Ham Official. We're going to beat them on Wednesday. Trust me. Trust me.